Okay, good day, everyone. Glad you could join us for this very short informational video about the new pedagogies for deep learning distinction pathways program. My name is Meg Gardner, and I am a member of the global team. It's a pleasure to be with you today. We're going to look at the program, what it's all about, why you might want to participate. We'll show you a few examples of some of the distinction pathways artifacts, and we'll also share some simple steps to get you started. This overview package can be found on the Deep Learning Hub, and at the end of the presentation, we'll show you exactly how you can find this information on the Hub. At the time this video recording was made, NPDL had 18 countries participating in our network. And we are a strong network because we build knowledge and practices by partnering with schools and jurisdictions from around the world. And it's this spirit of shared global professionalism that propels the deep learning to go even deeper. We are all learning together. Teachers, leaders, and districts share their practices at deep learning, global deep learning labs, in webinars, and also through the Distinction Pathways program. And like all of our work within deep learning, it's nested in the process of collaborative inquiry. Collaborative inquiry allows us to examine our existing practices and assumptions by engaging with colleagues and peers who understand the language and thinking of deep learning. It's a powerful strategy for change because it simultaneously promotes professional dialogue and contributes directly to improved student learning. When you participate in the Distinction Pathways work, you make an impact at many different levels. Your inquiry contributes to your own growth and to the growth of your students. But you also have an impact with peers, with your local context, like your school or your district, and more broadly, to the global knowledge building partnership. There are 3 categories for the Distinction Pathways program: teacher, school, and district. And this slide shows what components need to be completed for each category. For example, as a teacher, you contribute an exemplar, which is a deep learning task that has been collaboratively moderated at the school or district or global level. You also participate in a moderation process. You co-create a collaborative inquiry cycle and submit a short video of what deep learning looks like in your classroom. As well, you contribute to the global network in some way. This might be by presenting in your local context. You could write a short article, or maybe even presenting at the Global Deep Learning Lab. Teachers also show how the NPDL tools have deepened their learning or their understanding for students. You can see other components required for a school level designation or district level recognition. During the pandemic, it's been difficult to complete some of these components, and we understand there are always going to be extraordinary circumstances. So if you find that you need to reach out to us with an alternative proposal, know that we welcome that. If you're a leader in a school or in a district, you might think of the distinction pathways as a robust way to engage your staff, to build coherence, to generate motivation, and to share understanding of deep learning across your organization. If you're pursuing a distinction pathway, you'll ask a supervisor to guide you through the process. This is not as hefty a responsibility as you might think. We would ask that the supervisor checks for authenticity and quality assurance, reviews the artifacts for submission, and then signs off. It would be ideal if the supervisor could engage in a learning conversation along the way. Supervisors are always welcome to reach out to us if they have any questions, and do know that we are so grateful for their support and interest in this program. Participating in the work deserves recognition. Recipients will receive a certificate and will be publicly acknowledged at the Global Deep Learning Lab and also on the NPDL Hub. They will also receive a letter from our co-directors, Joanne Quinn and Michael Fullen, and we will CC your supervisors. A press release will also be sent to you so that you can notify your local newspapers of the significant accomplishment. Lastly, we'll send you a digital email badge that you can tuck under your signature of your email. Let's hear from some of the folks who have participated in the Distinction Pathways program. Tom D'Amico, who is the director of Ottawa Catholic School Board, found that compiling the resources for the NPDL Distinction Pathways program was an affirming process to recognize the many areas of commitment to deep learning right across our district. The Distinction Pathways is a great way to build shared purpose and understanding of deep learning. So let's take a look at the Ottawa Catholic School Board District Pathway example. OCSB has been a real leader in the deep learning movement. They lead the Canadian cluster. They've done a number of presentations at the Global Deep Learning Lab and beyond. And they've hosted a number of visitors from all over the world. They've also embedded deep learning in all of their policies and practices across more than 80 schools. Deep learning is connected to practices such as superintendent school visits, budgeting, and assessment policies. They've also created a reference guide that you can see here, and it's used to support the new teachers and helping them to see the connections between deep learning and literacy and numeracy. For their distinction pathway, they collected all of these artifacts that they had created over a few years, and they made a website. So let's take a look at that website now. This is a place where parents and families, students, and staff can visit. They also created a video. Let's watch that now.
Imagine the wonder of a child. Imagine their childhood hopes and dreams for the future. Now imagine the world today. The world is changing and changing fast. So how do we best prepare our young learners for tomorrow? Maybe we should ask her.
We need to prepare our students for the 21st century, and the 21st century is demanding a skill set that's different than the past. We need to develop students who are critical thinkers, who can engage with the world they live in and see themselves within it as citizens. They need to be able to be creative and innovative. They need to be able to communicate their thinking and work with others in authentic and purposeful ways. There's so many jobs that are being created every day that didn't exist 5-10 years ago. And they're requiring these skills that students need to be able to have. They need these transferable skills.
Deep learning unleashes every student's potential. It gives them the skills to solve the complex issues facing us today and in the future. We know they are ready to make a difference in this world, and we know who will get them there. Deep learning, quality learning that sticks with you for life.
Alpine School District also participated in the Distinction Pathways program as a district. Joe Backman shares their experiences here, explaining that it provided opportunities to further enhance the learning for students and to invigorate teachers. This process helped them to synthesize their work so they could better articulate their learning journey with others inside and outside of their district. Let's take a quick look at some of the work that Alpine School District did. You might want to take a look at this document. It really explains the work that Alpine School District has done to solidify their vision for learning. As well, it explains some of the many programs and ways they're supporting deep learning and the development of the global competencies. You can see here too the way they have connected programs like RTI to deep learning so that their work is coherent. This artifact will be available on the hub as well. Let's look at a couple of teacher examples now. Natasha O'Connor, Christina Sands, and Joe Buckingham from New Zealand teamed up to explore and better understand early learning and how it connects with deep learning. What they learned was that play and NPDL work well together. Play is the program or the pedagogy, and NPDL has the tools to support and enhance its implementation. They learned the power of student voice and personalized learning. They were able to better understand how the teacher-student relationship is getting redefined. They really appreciated how change is constant and that engagement is critical. Teacher Jen LeBrun from California has also been recognized. She pursued the Distinction Pathways program during the pandemic when it was difficult to collaborate with other teachers face to face. To overcome this, she teamed up with other teachers beyond her school to create a resource that would support everyday deep learning. Let's take a look at this very rich example. I'm just going to give you a taste of some of the work that she's collected here, but if you visit the hub, you'll be able to take a closer look at some of the great examples and resources that she shared. Her interest was to support deep learning without overwhelming teachers and recognizing that NPDL is more than just projects, it's a shift in pedagogy. So she wanted to support teachers as they incorporated deep learning into their existing daily, weekly, and monthly routines, with the emphasis on student agency. Her focus was really on pedagogical practices and how she could foster collaborative cultures, agency, and engage learners in cycles of goal setting and reflection. You can see here her links to so many different resources that, coupled with deep learning, make everyday deep learning a real possibility. And a reminder that this is all available on the hub. So after a few inspiring examples, you're probably wondering how you can get started. It really comes down to these 3 simple steps. Register and receive a template to get started. Conduct your collaborative inquiry and complete the template, and submit the completed template and artifacts to NPDL Global by November 30th. Here's the thing. You don't have to begin at a specific time, and your inquiry does not need to be conducted within a specific time. Each year around November 30th, the global team reviews submissions with the view to featuring them at our Global Deep Learning Lab. So this is a really self-directed timeline for you, and we want it to be meaningful for you. So don't feel as though you have to rush to complete it, and really dig in and enjoy it as much as you can. So if you're interested, you register your name and give a few details, such as your role and who your supervisor is. And you get going on your collaborative inquiry, and you complete this template that's at the right as you go. And at the end of the template, you're going to be asked 3 key learnings or insights you're taking from this journey. You submit the completed template and the artifacts to either Max Drummy or to me, And it's as simple as that. Here's a one-page summary if you'd like to share this with your colleagues. If you want more information, you can find it on the Members Hub. And we're going to go there now and show you how you can find it. So here we are on the Members Hub. And if you see across the screen here, there are a number of tabs. If you go to the Capacity Building tab, the third one from the left, and you scroll down to Distinction Pathways, you'll find this is where we have the information. This video will be stored here, as well as that one-page summary I just shared with you. You can register for the NPDL Distinction Pathways using that template that I showed you earlier. And as well, it provides you with the information that has been shared in this video. It's as simple as that. Soon, you'll be able to see some of those wonderful artifacts that I shared with you earlier. I want to take the moment to just thank you for your interest, and remember that we're always here to answer your questions or to brainstorm with you. Thanks for being here, and bye for now.